They say betrayal comes quietly. Mine showed up at a barbecue with burgers on the grill and lies in the air. My name's Jake, I'm 35 years old, and for the last 7 years I've been married to my wife, Rachel. On the surface we seemed like your average couple. Rachel works in marketing, smart, driven, confident, the kind of woman who walks into a room and somehow owns it without even trying. That charisma of hers is one of the first things that drew me to her. She's got a way with people, a smooth charm that makes you feel like you're the only one in the room, even if you're not. A few weekends ago, we decided to host a barbecue at our place. Nothing extravagant, just a casual afternoon with friends, cold drinks, and a grill. We don't throw gatherings often, but the weather was just too good to pass up. Plus, it had been a while since we'd gotten everyone together in one place. I was genuinely looking forward to it. I imagined a chill day, laughing with old friends, sipping a beer, spending time with Rachel. Our guests started to roll in. Some were old college buddies, a few from work, and a couple of neighbors we've grown close to over the years. One of the first to arrive was my longtime friend, Brandon. He and I go way back, since childhood really. He's that guy who lights up any room, always joking, always making sure everyone's having fun. As the afternoon moved along, everything seemed fine. We had music playing, burgers sizzling, and everyone seemed to be in high spirits. But even in all that noise and energy, I began to pick up on something that didn't sit quite right. Every time I stepped inside to grab more drinks or check on the food, I'd catch glimpses of Rachel and Brandon chatting. Nothing blatant. But it was her body language, the way she leaned in a little too much, how easily she laughed at his jokes. There was this flicker of something between them, a kind of familiarity that didn't feel like just friendship. At first I brushed it off. They've known each other nearly as long as I've known Brandon. Of course they'd be friendly. I kept telling myself I was overthinking it. But deep down, this uncomfortable feeling was growing, like a small alarm going off in the background that I just couldn't silence. As the evening wore on and people started trickling out, I found myself watching Rachel more closely. She was still playing the gracious host, still smiling and laughing like usual. But to me something felt different. Like she was trying a bit too hard, like there was a layer of her holding something in. Then it happened, just as Brandon was saying his goodbyes. I caught a look pass between them. It only lasted a second, maybe less. But it stopped me cold. It wasn't just a friendly smile or a polite nod. It felt loaded, intimate even. And that's when my stomach dropped. Still I said nothing. What could I even say? Hey, I saw you glance at each other weird, what's going on? I had no proof. Just a bad feeling I couldn't explain. And that's where things have been left hanging. I keep replaying that day in my head, scene by scene. Maybe I really am just being paranoid. Or maybe, deep down, I already know something's wrong and I'm too afraid to face it. That Sunday I tried everything to push the unease aside. Cleaned up the yard, did chores around the house, anything to quiet my mind. But that sense of dread lingered like smoke after a fire. Monday came and work gave me a bit of a distraction. Emails, meetings, it all helped blur the thoughts for a while. But the second I walked through the door that evening it came rushing back. Rachel was already home, seated at the kitchen table with her laptop open, probably finishing up work. She looked up and smiled like everything was completely normal. And for a moment I wanted to believe it. Maybe I had let my imagination run wild. After dinner we settled onto the couch to catch up on a show we'd been watching. That's when she turned to me and said, I was thinking, last weekend was really fun. What if we invited everyone back again next weekend? And just like that, the unease hit me all over again. Rachel usually isn't the type to suggest having people over again so soon, especially when she's the one who complains about the cleanup. So why the sudden enthusiasm? I forced a smile and nodded. Yeah, sure, we could do that, I replied even though my mind was racing. If Brandon came again, would I see more of those moments? Would I catch another one of those glances? She seemed genuinely excited. But for me something still didn't add up. And the more I tried to ignore it, the louder it echoed in the back of my mind. We started tossing around names for the guest list. Rachel wanted to invite the same crew from last weekend, maybe even add a few more people into the mix. I nodded along, played it cool, but in the back of my mind the question kept spinning. What's really behind this sudden enthusiasm? I didn't bring it up. What would I even say? Hey, how about we don't have anyone over because I've got this weird feeling about you and Brandon? That would just make me look jealous or unstable. I didn't want to come off like some insecure husband with trust issues. But still, there was something about the way she brought it up, so casually, like it didn't mean anything. That part felt off. I couldn't shake the uneasiness in my gut, no matter how hard I tried to reason it away. So I made a quiet promise to myself. This time around I'd keep my eyes open. Maybe I was wrong, maybe I was just being overly cautious, but I wasn't going to sweep it under the rug like before. Not again. The week dragged on and I did my best to dive into work, to let deadlines and meetings distract me. But the thought of Rachel and Brandon, of what I might have witnessed or imagined or almost saw, kept creeping back in. Every text Rachel sent made me pause. Was I being ridiculous or was this my gut trying to warn me? By midweek, I was caught in this tug-of-war between doubt and instinct. Rachel hadn't been acting strange. If anything, she'd been her usual self, smiling, laughing, asking about my day. We had dinner together, watched our shows, went through the motions. But that one look at the barbecue, it just wouldn't let me go. Then Wednesday rolled around. I got home earlier than usual, the kind of rare quiet evening where I beat traffic and pulled into the driveway just before the sun dipped down. Rachel wasn't home yet, which didn't raise any red flags. She told me she had late nights ahead with a big pitch coming up at work. I grabbed a beer from the fridge, dropped onto the couch and started flipping through the channels. My phone buzzed, just some work reminder, but when I reached for it, something else caught my eye. Rachel's laptop sitting open on the dining room table. Now, I'm not someone who goes snooping through his wife's things. I believe in trust. I wanted to believe in it. But there was something about that laptop just sitting there, glowing faintly in the quiet room that stopped me. I sat there staring at it, told myself it was nothing. Probably emails or some online shopping tab left open. But then again, what if it wasn't? I stood up slowly, like I was walking toward a decision I didn't want to make. Her password? I knew it. It's one of those things you just pick up over the years. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, guilt already creeping in. This felt wrong. It felt like crossing a line. But I crossed it anyway. I opened her inbox first. Work messages, reminders, calendar invites. Nothing out of the ordinary. I started to feel stupid, even a little ashamed for letting my imagination run wild. Then I saw it. A folder sitting quietly on her desktop, labeled personal. Not hidden, but not something I'd ever noticed before. It just stood out. Like it didn't belong there among the spreadsheets and pitch decks. My heart started pounding again. I hesitated. Leave it alone, Jake. You're going to find something you can't unsee. But I clicked. There were a few old photos, some notes from who knows when. But then I saw a file named with a date from a couple months back. The same weekend Brandon had come over to help with a few house repairs. I opened it. It was a message thread. Between Rachel and Brandon. At first, it read like typical friendly banter. Memories, inside jokes. But then, a message from Rachel caught my eye. Last weekend was amazing. Felt like old times. Old times? What does that mean? What exactly happened that weekend? I kept reading and each line hit harder than the last. It wasn't blatant, not vulgar, but the subtext was loud and clear. They were flirting. Teasing. There was a kind of closeness, a warmth, that I hadn't seen from her in a long time. And then came the punch in the gut. I can't wait to see you again this weekend. My chest tightened. This weekend. The barbecue. The one I was planning while flipping burgers and laughing with friends, while she and Brandon had their own little world behind my back. I closed the laptop slowly like it might explode. I couldn't breathe right. Couldn't think straight. An hour later, Rachel walked through the front door like nothing had changed. She smiled, kissed me on the cheek, asked me how my day went. I could barely answer her. My heart was thudding so loud I was sure she could hear it. This isn't just a feeling anymore. It's not paranoia. Something's going on. I know it now. But the hardest part? Figuring out what to do next. Saturday finally rolls around, and from the moment I wake up, there's this knot in my chest that just won't go away. Rachel's in a cheerful mood, moving around the kitchen with her usual energy, humming while she arranges snacks and checks off the to-do list. She looks completely at ease, like today is just another sunny day with friends. Not the second act in something that's quietly tearing me apart. I keep myself busy, setting up the backyard, dragging out the folding chairs, stacking the cooler with ice and drinks. To anyone watching, I probably looked like I was prepping for a good time. But inside, I felt like I was suiting up for battle. My thoughts were racing, bouncing from calm disbelief to a growing sense of dread. Rachel keeps checking her phone too. I notice it every time. A buzz, a glance, and then she tucks it away like nothing happened. It's subtle, but I'm watching everything now, every move, every smile that lingers too long. She's always been good at appearing composed, but today, something about it feels performative. Like she's trying too hard to look normal. The clock ticks closer to showtime and my anxiety starts to spike. Guests will be here soon, and I know it's not just burgers and beers I'm waiting for. I'm bracing myself for Brandon. My mind keeps spinning around what I read earlier in the week. Those messages. That connection I can't unsee now. Just before the first guests arrive, Rachel strolls over while I'm adjusting the grill. She slides her arm around me, smiling like nothing's wrong. "You holding up okay?" she asks, resting her head briefly against my shoulder. I force a smile, doing my best to sound relaxed. "Yeah, just making sure we don't end up with charred hockey pucks again." She laughs, nudging me lightly. "You stress too much about the food. People are here for the company, not your burgers." Her words hit differently. I can't tell if she's just being playful, or if there's something underneath, like a message hidden in plain sight. The doorbell rings and one by one our friends trickle into the backyard. They bring bottles of wine, covered dishes, big smiles. It's the same group as last time, more or less, and everyone seems genuinely happy to be here. On the surface, it's shaping up to be another easygoing afternoon. But I'm not relaxing. I'm scanning the crowd constantly, waiting for that familiar face. Then I see him. Brandon walks in, carrying a six-pack, his easy smile right in place. He's wearing that relaxed confidence he always has, like nothing in the world could bother him. Across the yard, Rachel's in the middle of a conversation, but the moment she sees him, their eyes lock, just for a second. It's quick. Almost nothing. But I feel it like a punch to the chest. I walk over to him, putting on my best host face. "Hey man. Glad you made it. Grill's already fired up, so let's hope I don't ruin dinner." He laughs, clapping me on the back. "Wouldn't be a real barbecue without a little smoke and drama, right?" We share a few jokes and I steer him toward the grill. The heat rising from the coals feels grounding, like it's the only thing keeping me from flying off the rails. I focus on the burgers, flipping them one by one, trying to lose myself in the rhythm. But I can feel him beside me, watching the yard like he's waiting. And then she shows up. Rachel walks over, her smile bright and effortless. "Smells amazing over here," she says, sliding a hand across my back as she leans in. But I'm watching. I see the way she stands just a touch closer to Brandon. The way their eyes meet, only briefly but enough to set every nerve in my body on edge. "You're not going to burn them again, are you?" she teases, nudging me playfully. I grin back, keeping it light. "Nah, I've got it covered this time." To anyone else, it probably looked like a normal moment between a husband, his wife, and a good friend. But I wasn't seeing it like that anymore. Not with everything I knew now. Every little movement, every smile felt calculated, like something deeper was happening beneath the surface. For a while, I do my best to blend in. The smoke, the chatter, the clinking of drinks, it all creates this illusion of normalcy. And I want to believe it. I want to believe this is just another Saturday. But that tension won't leave me. I keep my eyes on Rachel and Brandon, tracking their movements like a silent observer in my own home. Then I realize something. I haven't seen Brandon in a few minutes. Not since I turned back to the grill. I glance around the yard. Maybe he went inside to grab another drink, or stepped out for a phone call. But there's no sign of him. I check the kitchen window, nothing. And that's when it hits me. The silence. The absence. The moment in every movie when you realize the worst might be unfolding right under your nose. I try not to leap to conclusions, but that uneasy knot in my stomach is back, tightening with every passing minute. Where did Brandon go? And how did I miss him leaving the yard in the first place? To keep myself from spiraling, I turn my attention back to the grill. "Hey Rach." I call out, keeping my voice as casual as I can manage. "Can you grab those veggies from the kitchen? I'll throw them on next." She turns, offers that familiar smile and nods. "Sure thing, be right back." As she walks into the house, I watch her go, my mind churning. I don't want to believe something's going on right under my roof, right in front of everyone we know. But I can't stop myself from wondering. I keep tending the grill, acting like I'm focused, but the longer she's gone, the louder my thoughts get. Where's Brandon? And why does this all feel like it's slipping through my fingers? Rachel comes back a minute later, holding a tray of vegetables. She's all smiles again, cheerful and composed, as if everything is perfectly fine. "Here you go, chef," she says playfully, setting the tray next to me. I thank her, forcing another smile, but my eyes are already drifting toward the back door, still searching the crowd. Before I can ask anything, she perks up. "Oh, I'll grab some more beers too," she announces, loud enough for everyone to hear. Like clockwork, our friends chime in with cheers and raised glasses. "Yeah. More beer," someone shouts and a chorus follows. Rachel laughs, shaking her head like she's humoring a bunch of teenagers. All right, she says with a grin, turning toward the house again. I watch her disappear back inside, and that uneasy feeling tightens even more. The mood outside is still festive, full of laughter and clinking bottles, but I'm not hearing it anymore. I keep my eyes on the door, flipping the veggies half-heartedly, my head a million miles away. Where is Brandon? I scan the yard again. Still no sign of him. And now Rachel's inside too. The food's almost ready and people are starting to ask when they can eat. I should be focused on finishing up the grilling, but I can't stop glancing toward the house. She said she was just getting beer. That's all. But something doesn't sit right. It's been too long. I pull the last of the burgers off the grill and set them on a tray. Everyone's still enjoying themselves, but I decide to step inside before handing the food out. Gonna grab the drinks? I call out, trying to sound casual. The kitchen's quiet. The fridge door is wide open, but there's no sign of Rachel. No beers. No movement. I grab a couple of bottles from the fridge, but my instincts won't let me walk back out. I place the bottles on the counter and stand there for a second, listening. That's when I hear it. It's faint, muffled voices, barely audible, but coming from down the hall near the stairs. I step closer, my movements careful, deliberate. My heart starts pounding so loud I swear I can hear it in my ears. As I pass the guest bathroom, I freeze. There's someone in there. 2 people. I can hear whispers, quick, low voices, and then something else. Sounds I don't want to describe, but that I can't ignore either. I stare at the closed door, my breath caught in my throat. Part of me wants to turn around to pretend I didn't hear anything. But I can't. Not anymore. My hand hovers over the doorknob, hesitating for just a moment. And then I push the door open. What I see stops me cold. Rachel's inside, standing way too close to Brandon. They both jerk away from each other like kids caught sneaking out past curfew. She's flustered, clearly rattled, while he stumbles back, scrambling to straighten himself out. Their faces say everything: guilt, panic, the silent recognition that they've just been found out. My stomach drops. My mind goes blank. The room falls silent. For a second, nobody moves. Rachel opens her mouth to say something, but no words come out. Brandon stares at me, his face pale, his eyes wide. And me? I'm just standing there, fists clenched at my sides, my whole world collapsing in the blink of an eye. You backstabbing coward. I shout, my voice cracking as the fury spills out of me. I lunge forward and grab Brandon by the collar, slamming him hard against the wall. Every ounce of rage and betrayal that's been building inside me comes out in that moment. You were supposed to be my friend, I growl, my hands shaking. How long's this been going on, huh? How long have you two been doing this behind my back? He doesn't fight back. He doesn't even try. His mouth opens but nothing coherent comes out, just stumbling, stammering fragments of excuses I don't want to hear. His face goes pale as he tries to form words, but I shove him again, pinning him to the wall, harder this time. Get out, I say, my voice low and cold. Get out of my house before I do something I'll regret. He flicks a glance toward Rachel, who's still standing there like she's frozen in place, her arms wrapped around herself. She won't look at me. She's too wrapped in her own shame or guilt, or whatever's left of her dignity. Brandon tries to say something, maybe an apology, but I cut him off. Now, I bark, shoving him toward the hallway. He stumbles, fumbling with his belt, barely getting his footing before bolting toward the front door like a thief caught red-handed. He doesn't look back. When I turn to Rachel, she's trying to cover herself, shaking, tears welling in her eyes, but I'm past the point of sympathy. I don't care about the tears. I don't care how scared or sorry she looks. Get out, I say, my voice like ice. You too, Rachel. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear it. Just go. She stares at me for a moment, her lips trembling, eyes pleading for something. Maybe forgiveness, maybe just a chance to explain. But I'm done. Whatever we had, it ended the moment I opened that door. I walk away before she can say a word. By the time I hear the front door open and close again, the house has gone eerily quiet. No footsteps, no voices. Just silence. And me standing there in what used to be a home, now feeling more like a hollow shell. But there's no time to fall apart, not yet. There's still a backyard full of friends, full of laughter and clueless conversation, completely unaware that the party they came to attend just became the backdrop for the end of my marriage. So I do the only thing I can think of. I grab the beer Rachel had promised and head outside like nothing's happened. As I step out into the daylight, the contrast is jarring. The backyard is buzzing with joy, casual conversation, clinking glasses. Everyone's still enjoying themselves, caught up in their own little worlds. I throw on a fake smile and hand out the beers like I'm still the host, still the guy with his life together. Sorry for the wait, I say with forced ease, trying to keep my voice steady. A few people cheer, raising their glasses. Someone slaps me on the back with a laugh, like it's just another great afternoon. But for me, it's all background noise now. I feel like I'm underwater, like everything around me is happening in slow motion. I pass out the last beer, grab one for myself, then another, and another after that. I keep drinking not because it helps but because I don't know what else to do. Each bottle dulls the edges just a bit more, blurs the pain that's pressing on my chest. But no matter how much I drink, I can't wash away what I saw. I can't undo what happened in that hallway. At some point, someone asks if I'm all right. I smile, at least I think I do, and wave it off. Yeah, all good, I say, twisting open another bottle. Just soaking it all in. But I'm not soaking anything in. I'm unraveling. The laughter fades. The grill cools. The party winds down. And I just keep drinking. When I wake up the next morning, I'm still in yesterday's clothes, slouched on the couch surrounded by empty beer bottles. My mouth is dry, my head pounding, but the ache in my chest is what really wakes me up. And as the memories of the day before come crashing back, I feel sick all over again. I sit up slowly, my body heavy, my heart heavier. I know what I have to do. I can't put it off. I won't let this drag out, let her twist the truth or try to fix something that's beyond repair. I grab my phone and search for a divorce lawyer. I don't care that it's early. Within minutes, I'm talking to someone, my voice rough but certain. Yeah, I say. I'm ready to start this. I just want her out of my life. As soon as I hang up the phone, I feel something I hadn't felt in a while, a flicker of relief. Twisted as it sounds, it's like I finally took a real step toward reclaiming a life that doesn't revolve around pain or second-guessing. But that moment of peace is short-lived. The front door creaks open not long after, and Rachel steps inside. Her face is pale, her eyes red and swollen from crying. She looks like she's barely keeping herself together. She must have found out about the lawyer. Word always seems to travel fast when your world's falling apart. Jake, please, she says, her voice trembling, raw with desperation. I'm so sorry. I made a huge mistake. I don't even know what I was thinking. Just give me a chance to explain, okay? We can work through this. Don't go through with the divorce. Please. I look at her, the woman I married, the one I once believed I'd grow old with, but I don't see her anymore. Not really. All I can see is what she did. The betrayal. The lies. The quiet moments where I trusted her without a second thought, and how that trust was crushed right in front of me. I push myself up from the couch, my head still pounding from last night, but my voice is steady. Since you're here, Rachel, why don't you go ahead and start packing your things? You're not staying here. There's nothing left to talk about. She flinches like I hit her. The tears come fast now as she takes a step toward me, hands raised like she's trying to bridge the space between us. But I step back, holding the distance. I'm not stepping back into that trap again. Jake, please, she whispers. I'll do anything. Just don't throw it all away. But I've heard enough. You already did, I tell her, calm but firm. You and Brandon, you threw it away. So now you can live with it. Pack your stuff and go. She stares at me like she's hoping for something. Maybe pity, maybe forgiveness. But I've got nothing left to give. Not anymore. Eventually, without another word, she turns and walks up the stairs. I stay in the kitchen, listening to the soft thumps of drawers opening, the rustle of her packing what's left of our life together. But this time there's no panic in me. Just a strange sense of finality. This is it. The end. The divorce went quicker than I expected. Maybe because Rachel didn't have the fight in her anymore. Or maybe deep down she knew the damage she'd done was beyond repair. Either way, it didn't drag out. Within a couple of months, the paperwork was signed, filed, and finalized. 7 years of marriage reduced to signatures and legal forms. No grand confrontation. No drawn-out battle. Just quiet paperwork and the silence that comes when something truly ends. From what I've heard, Rachel hasn't been doing well. She's been struggling, emotionally, financially, all of it. People say she's full of regret, trying to put her life back together piece by piece. But I don't ask for details and I don't really care to know more. She made her choice. Now she's living with it. As for me, I won't lie, it wasn't easy. The first few weeks were brutal. There was rage, sadness, confusion. I cycled through all of it more times than I can count. But slowly I started finding pieces of myself again. I dove into work, spent time with friends I'd neglected, reconnected with family. I started doing things I'd let slip away over the years. Hobbies, routines, even just going for walks without a destination. I started working out again, cooking real meals, taking care of myself in ways I hadn't in a long time. And sure, some days are still hard. There are moments when the memories hit me like a sucker punch. Little things like a song or a familiar scent. But they pass. And each time they pass a little faster. Because I'm healing. Not all at once, not perfectly, but I'm getting there. And more than anything, I'm learning. I've learned what I won't tolerate again, what I truly deserve, and how much of myself I'd been giving away without even realizing it. Life does go on. You never believe it when you're in the thick of it, when the hurt is fresh and you're choking on betrayal. But it's true. The world keeps moving and eventually you start moving with it again. I'm still a work in progress, but for the first time in a long time, I'm moving forward, not dragging the past behind me but letting it stay where it belongs. Losing Rachel hurt more than I thought anything could. But maybe, just maybe, it was the wake-up call I didn't know I needed. And now I'm learning how to live again.